Guys, you guys have been asking for a part two of Andrew Tate and Tucker Carlson. So far, a very, I would say, objective interview. I don't think that Tucker is in any way kind of attacking Tate, and he's really hearing him out, which is what I absolutely love. Let the man tell his side of the story as well, not like certain agencies that just go in there, bash his name, then get out. I mean, come on. Now, part two. So we're gonna maybe run this about also 10 minutes. So this is going to be a pretty long series that we're going to be checking out here. But Andrew Tate, Tucker Carlson, if you're new to the channel, please make sure that you subscribe, bro. Something as simple as a subscribe helps me out a whole damn lot. Let's get it, man.
Wouldn't it just have been easier to commit like a massive financial crime and defraud people of billions, come up with like a fake cryptocurrency, call it like, I don't know, FTX, or just give a name to it.
Yep, something, yeah,
And
something
then,
random.
you know, steal billions
Yeah.
and get your parents involved and buy a bunch of real estate in the Bahamas, and then like you'd be sort of a hero, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I would have certainly made a lot more money than TikTok, because I don't think TikTok even pays you for views. And if it certainly does, I never got a single transaction from it. So
I don't know how exactly do you make money off of TikTok? I think there's a new feature called Series where I think it's monetized. If anyone knows, if anyone's more clued up, I'm not really big on TikTok. I do use it, but I don't really post frequently as much as I should on there probably. But hey, it is what it is. Let me know if someone is more clued up about that. Let me know how exactly do you earn money from TikTok, or is it mainly through brand sponsorships and whatnot? Let me know.
So it's a very interesting scenario, but if I was accused of a financial crime, my name would not be slandered. So
No, of course. Well, of course not. You have the presumption of innocence. So just back to the jail thing. So you're in with your brother.
At the beginning, I was not, but towards the end, I was, yeah.
What did you do all day?
That's a good question. I looked at the wall, stared at the wall, smoked cigarettes, lots of push-ups, read the Quran.
That's
Smoked
it.
cigarettes,
And
did push-ups, and read the Quran.
Andrew, that's a bit counterproductive, but I hear you, my
Basically,
man.
yes. And
Hold up.
stared at the wall.
Presumption of innocence. So just back to the jail thing. So you're in with your brother.
At the beginning, I was not, but towards the end, I was, yeah.
What did you do all day?
It's a good question. I looked at the wall, stared at the wall, smoked cigarettes, lots of push-ups, read the Quran.
You smoked cigarettes
And did push-ups.
Did push-ups and read the Quran.
Basically, yes. And certainly had some introspective moments. Tried my best to get out, tried my best to via my small phone calls, understand what's happening in the outside world. Tried to make sure that the people I love and care about are taken care of, because I'm the man of my family, and I'm also the man of quite a large, I wouldn't say empire, but life.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of people who rely on me. You know, you have staff and families, you have children and
I know the
families.
feeling, yeah.
So when you're
I mean, what more can you do in that situation other than do some introspection, kind of have flashbacks of your life? Is it going to be the same? Where am I currently? What's going to happen? It'll make me personally crazy. So you have to be very, your mental resilience really has to be up there to cope with that type of situation, man.
people who rely on me. You know, you have staff and families, you have children and
I know the
families.
feeling, yeah.
So when you're plucked from that, it's kind of strange. You're in jail and you're concerned for yourself, but your primary concerns are also all your duties as a man. I have duties as a man. I don't want children to starve.
You've got a whole tribe.
I've got people to pay. So it was very, very frustrating, constantly trying to make sure everybody else was okay and feeling helpless.
Yeah.
That's what hurt me the most. I was trying to make sure everybody I love and care about was fine, and I wasn't as powerful as I should have been, and that was very upsetting, and especially if they were going to keep me there for years. I was having serious concerns about how I can feed the people I love.
Did you ever come to the edge at all?
Ooh.
No, I certainly had some days I was less happy than others, but I made sure that my mindset was built in a way that I could always be doing something constructive. And also, I think you get what you give in life. And if I ever felt particularly sad on a day, I would try very hard to make other people happy, because if I made other people smile, I'd feel better. So even the dinner ladies or the prison guards, I'd try very hard just to make people smile. I know it sounds silly. Some of the prison guards.
That's tough, man. I mean, if you're in that situation, I personally, I don't think I'll have the ability to even get other people smile, because I mean, how do you make yourself kind of smile in that situation? Shit, man.
The prison guards, I'd try very hard just to make people smile. I know it sounds silly. Some of the prison
No, it
guards,
doesn't.
some of the prison guards were more open than others, but there was a couple prison guards who were ice cold, who didn't want to say a word to me, and were like, "Hey, bro, your hair looks amazing. And he just stared at me like he wants, shut up. But I just try my best to cheer people up, to cheer myself up. And as a man, all you can do is just find the resolve to continue doing the best you can in the current circumstance.
Exactly.
What
Exactly.
were the other prisoners like?
I don't want to insult Romania in any way, and I love this country, and I chose to live here. But if I had to describe it for the people, for an American audience to understand, I don't think Romania and a lot of these countries have the same kind of mental health setup or the mental health
Awareness.
support that a lot of Western nations have.
Agreed.
So you end up in jail. So I think there was a lot of mental health problems inside the jail. So it was very similar. It wasn't just a jail. There was also a lot of mental health problems in there, which adds a new complexity and a new dimension to the suffering.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and that's the truth. I mean, a lot of countries are gonna obviously approach mental health differently. So one country might awareness might be high. In other countries, you'll kind of say that you should control your emotions, almost be stoic to a certain extent, because that's what's expected of you. In those type of countries, mental health tends to be a huge problem because it's not addressed properly, right?
Because there's just random screaming and there's suicide and it's certainly not a very nice place to be.
Oh, so it's horrifying.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to go back.
You hear the phrase Romanian prison, and it sounds tough. So it was what you would imagine.
It is, and when this process is over, there's a lot more I will say, but I will say the staff were very nice to me, and I want to make this clear. I want to make it very clear that all the staff in the jail were very professional and very nice to me. I would almost say that they believed I was innocent and they understood that I didn't belong there. There was a semi-apologetic vibe to the way I was treated by the guards, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They understood very well. I don't think anybody, like I said, with a functioning brain believes that me at the age of 35 decided to steal TikTok money and ruin my entire life without financial motivation to girls who say they're not victims of anything. I don't think anybody with a brain.
Well, the fact that you're not accused of a sex crime or of violence, which I think most people don't really understand.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they can look it up.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what confuses me. Because some people are still saying no, it's actual human trafficking. Other people are saying no, he's still telling the truth. It's actually about coercing people into making videos for money. All right, that's the first time I've heard something like that in my entire life. But let's roll with.
Or of violence, which I think most people don't really understand.
Yep.
And they can look it up.
Yep.
I mean, but you're not actually accused of rape,
Correct.
selling anyone,
Correct.
pimping.
Correct.
Okay. That right there raises a lot of questions.
Well, yeah, and this is the thing that's so interesting because I'm accused of using a method of human trafficking called the lover boy method. So how that would traditionally work is a man would meet a girl, become her boyfriend, take her to another country, turn her into a prostitute.
God damn.
Say I love you, like pimping.
Of course.
Yeah.
But they're saying, because all my conversations with these girls are very nice, they're saying that I use the lover boy method to convince them to do TikTok. And once again, I never made a penny from TikTok, and I have no interest in girls' TikTok's accounts, and I've never made any money from TikTok in my life.
So that raises the question. So that right there, I think, I mean, we can let people assess. I'm not, an expert on the Romanian legal code, but that's kind of not the impression that most people have.
No.
And that's the media who have made that the media have tried very hard to do that. And if I had to estimate, I think that the overall intention was just to throw me in a cell, use the media machine to drum up something real.
Yeah.
I think that's what the goal was.
So, but what's and I believe that. It seems, obviously.
You know what I noticed about this interview as well is that almost is as if he doesn't have a set of questions. It basically is. It's like an organic conversation between you. It's not interviews. It's more like a conversation, just a normal organic conversation. That's just said, let's talk, let's film. It's not like a set up scripted kind of interview like the BBC when she was just scrolling through the questions, reading on this feels more natural to me. And I don't know about you guys, but I love this format. Let me know if you prefer this format as well, this organic type of format.
Yeah.
One thing, I've never been to Romania before, and one thing I'm struck by is the American presence here.
Oh, it's massive.
Fully understand that.
I would have
So
never
there are
guessed
three
that.
NATO bases here now.
Ah.
They're bustling because of the war in Ukraine.
Yep.
One's on the Black Sea,
Yep.
right below Crimea. So this is strategically important, this country, to NATO.
Absolutely.
And so this is a lot less far away than I realized. It's much more American influenced.
Oh, I mean, could that specific thing be the reason why he was so easily apprehended, or why he was specifically apprehended in Romania? Except for the fact that he stays there, right? now that they've mentioned the American presence, and I think most of Tate's counterparts, all over the world, but probably concentrated in America and UK, probably is what my best guess would be. So let me know if you think that played a role. What is your opinion regarding that?
So this is a lot less far away than I realized. It's much more American influenced.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think that played a role?
Yeah, well,
Probably.
I think, and I don't want to get this incorrect, I think it's the second or third biggest U.S. embassy in the world. The U.S. embassy here looks like a prison. It's huge. They've got a huge embassy here. And even during Ceausescu, during the communism days, Romania was an ally of the West, even during communism.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Damn.
Ceausescu came to New York.
Yes, that's right, yeah. So Romania and America have been very good friends for a very long time. I have to be careful what I say, but it's certainly very interesting what's happened to me. The American embassy were not particularly helpful, let's put it that way. They weren't very interested in me being locked up without charge. They didn't seem very interested in getting me out.
But you're an American citizen.
Absolutely. And
so you're an American passport holder.
correct.
To know that, I thought he was just a UK passport. I know he was in UK for the majority of his life. I didn't know he was an American passport
So I think
holder.
the average American believes, perhaps falsely, that if you are accused of a crime in a foreign country, particularly a less developed country like Romania, you go to the U.S. Embassy and someone takes an interest in your case just to make sure that your treatment falls within,
Human
accepted
rights.
standards of
Yeah.
justice.
Yeah, they came to see me, but when I was asking them what they can actually do about all of this, they weren't particularly helpful.
Huh.
I don't want to peddle conspiracy theories, and I've heard a lot of information, etc. But I wouldn't say they sanctioned it. I don't know if they had to sanction it, but they weren't particularly interested in getting me out. But at least they came to see me more than once. I mean, they kind of pretended to care. The UK embassy didn't even pretend to care.
Damn.
The UK embassy was, I really think they enjoyed it.
I could guess that off of the whole reaction of the BBC. That's not a surprise to me. Literally.
They didn't.
And you're a British subject as well?
Correct. And this is the kind of thing, and I want to say this here, that's kind of frustrating for me because Romania is my home now for 7 years, but I'm half British, half American originally. And when something like this happens to you, you have this longing for home. You kind of want to go home.
Yep.
And you end up in a jail in a country where, even though you've lived for a long time, you don't speak the language, you don't understand the legal system. Going to court in a foreign language is far more intimidating than in your own language.
Can't even imagine.
You don't have a clue what's being said. You don't understand how anything works. And then you kind of have this longing for home, but I feel like my home countries hate me, and they hate me because of my message, which I believe to be a positive message. So you kind of have this strange feeling of homelessness, because it's like, well, if I go to the UK, I believe they're going to attack me the same. If I go to America, I believe they're going to attack me the same.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you go? It's kind of...
And the thing is that there's always going to be a split audience on him, right? You're going to have the people that kind of understand the message, kind of see where he's coming from, what he's trying to do, and then you're going to have people that just say he opposes, the modern way of thinking. He suppresses certain groups. To me personally, I've only benefited from his content. I don't know about you guys, but I've heard a lot of women say they also benefited in some way. I'm just saying what I see. I'm just saying what I heard. Some women have also said that they support him. So,
scary.
Where do you go?
It's a good question. We're going to have to see.
How did you wind up here?
I moved to Romania. I came to visit a long time ago. Before anybody ever visited Romania, I came to visit, and I genuinely fell in love with the place. It truly is a fantastic country. I love nature, as amazing nature. It's a very safe place. It has this reputation of being dangerous. It's not dangerous. It's very safe. The people are very good. The people are very conservative traditionally.
yeah.
It's almost like America was 20, 30 years ago. It's gorgeous. They have a bunch of nice restaurants and plenty of things to do, and I've never had a problem here in any way. Never had any issue with the law or with the other side, criminals, nothing, until this came out of nowhere. So it's been very strange.
So what is it about your message, do you think, that infuriates certain people?
Oh, here we go.
Well, my message is traditional masculinity. My message is to stand up and say what you mean and mean what you say. And even going to the gym nowadays is an act of defiance, because when you have a man who's built with any degree of principle, you say no to things. And I think if I have to analyze my message and why I'm so disliked by the people who dislike me, it's not the things I'm saying, it's the fact that if you adhere to my principles and you adhere to the things I say, you end up being the kind of person who will resist certain ideas. You say no. What kind of man never says no? Name a man who never says no. Men say no, right? Men,
Yeah, you
men
were
wake up and say, no, I don't think that should be done this way. No, my children will not be taught that.
It's the
No.
father's primary job.
there.
Absolutely. So when you say to men, listen, you're allowed.
Say that again for the people in the back, please, Tucker.
No, right? Men wake up and say, no, I don't think that should be done this way. No, my children will not be taught that.
It's
No.
the father's primary job.
Absolutely. So when you say to men, listen, you're allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have standards. You're allowed to have boundaries and barriers. You're
Correct.
allowed to get up and become important and work hard and try hard and become the kind of man who can't be controlled, then you're seen as an enemy. And I, especially with the massive influence I've gained, I think they look at me and go, he's helping men resist the slave programming. We don't.
You know, the funniest clips I've ever seen of this whole situation is, you know, asking people why they don't like Andrew Tate. They immediately, oh, because he's a misogynist. Okay, define misogyny. 99% of the people cannot define misogyny, but they immediately, and this just shows the complete herd mentality of people. Once they get hold of one idea, other people start, having the same idea. They just follow the leader without doing their own due diligence and without having their own opinion. They just put a label, and that's that. I mean, man, come
don't need him around. We need to empty their brains so we can inject the slave programming and convince men to be eunuchs. Because once you're eunuched, then you're not a threat.
you're gone.
I think I buy that because your message, I'm not the world's expert on your message, but I've seen a lot of it, and it's not explicitly political, actually.
No, it's not political at all.
No.
And their original attack before this Matrix attack is they weaponized virtue, which is what they usually do. There's no genuine virtue inside of these people. They weaponize virtue. They find a virtue, and they turn it into a bullet, and they shoot at you. I'm sure you know very well.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah. I was a misogynist for the longest time just for saying that men should have standards. If you tell a man he can have standards in a relationship in any way, you're a misogynist. It's actually very interesting because
What does that mean to have standards in a relationship?
Let's hear
The
it.
thing that's so
Let's hear it.
interesting about it because they've gendered the argument when I never did. I said as a man, you shouldn't have a girlfriend who is a liar and a cheater, and you also shouldn't have male friends who are liars and cheaters. You shouldn't be around dishonest people,
Yes.
Yeah.
male or female.
Amen.
And
Amen.
they gendered it and said, he's a misogynist. He's saying that men should only act this way with women, etc. I said that men should have standards, and you should have protocols that you're prepared to accept, and you should have hard parameters. And if a woman doesn't want to adhere to those parameters, that's her decision, and it's her prerogative. But you don't have to stay with her. Why should you?
Oh my God. So tell me, please, please, how could you listen? Someone sit here and tell me that what he's saying is not ethically or morally correct. I mean, if he's lying, if he's putting up a front, I get it, right? I get it. But to say that, men can have standards, just like women can have standards, it goes both ways. Men can choose to have standards, can choose to work hard, can choose to be the best version, can choose to go to the gym, can choose to be the most masculine versions of themselves. If people have a problem with that, that's their problem. So, I mean, this is he's winning me over more and more with what he's saying. And I'm really trying to pay close attention to how he's articulating the stuff and how he's kind of structuring what he's saying. But it makes complete logical sense. Let me know your thoughts. Once again, this was part 2 down below in the comment section. We're gonna have a few parts of this video. I might make a few parts longer than the previous 2, but anyway, we're gonna complete this interview slowly but surely. Andrew Tate, Tucker Carlson. We've watched basically up to about 23 minutes, so remember that. For the next one, I'll see you next time.